أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا ومولى الكونين رسول الثقلين جد الحسن والحسين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المكرمين المطهرين المنتجبين المنتخبين والعاقبة للمتقين والجنة للمطيعين والنار للعاصين واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي صلى الله عليه وسلم. We are talking about youth-related issues and how this cultural invasion is affecting their life. And now today we will discuss one more signs of westernization or cultural invasion. That is the culture of getting bored. Getting bored. Many times we hear this statement from people that people complain about getting bored very quickly. It's not a new thing. You can't say it's a new thing because the word is not new. It existed before, but these days people get tired of something very, very quickly, and they get bored very, very quickly with anything, good or bad. If you keep on giving something good for a long, long time to a person, he would start complaining about it and would say, no, I don't want this good thing anymore. I want a change. I want a different thing. And as the saying goes, change is the law of nature. And everything changes except the change itself. Everything changes. So more and more people are complaining about getting bored. So if we look at the lives of our parents, maybe our grandparents or older people, they were not very familiar with this phenomenon. They had their time, of getting bored also. I can't say, but it was not that common that everybody would be complaining about it all the time. And why was that? The reason was that they never felt lonely. They never felt lonely. So when they were not lonely, they were always with somebody. Whether it is their family, whether they were with their spouses, or maybe with their children or their friends, etc. So they never felt, any kind of vacuum or any kind of boring situation in their lives. So if we look at the lives of the people these days, what they do when they want to get rid of their boredom, they go and watch TV. And this is the best choice for the people. We always complain that we don't have time, but if we really do a survey, we would see that many of the people, those who complain that they don't have time for doing something even important, they would find time to spend their time in front of television. I'm not talking about what they watch, what they don't watch. That is not the discussion of today. We are talking about that they find time to sit in front of television and spend some time before television. So if we look at the lives of the people, in the past, they did not have television, they did not have internet, they did not have these entertainment things or gadgets, etc., that provide us with this kind of enjoyments and entertainments these days. They did not have that at that time, but still they were enjoying their lives. They were living a very contented and very satisfied life. So if we look at the life of some of the people today, I'm not talking about maybe the people here, we may definitely have some exceptions. People cannot live without television. There are people, if you take television from their lives, they will literally die. Some people would go in and say, I don't have anything else to do. This is the only source of my joy. This is the only source of my entertainment. This is the thing that actually keeps me going. So they cannot live without television. And TV has become their teacher. TV has become actually their master. In some cases, husband and wife and children. So why people are giving so much importance to the television? This is very important for us to pay some attention. I have done some research, and through that research I've come to know that in these times there is a lot of emphasis on fun or on enjoyment. Fun and enjoyment. And everybody wants to have fun. And if you go and do some research and actually talk to some people, everybody would say, I want to have some fun in my life. I want to be happy. Okay, being happy is a different thing. You can be happy, but may not, enjoy these kind of entertainments that are being provided to us these days by these people. Okay, so this has created a very big problem for us. Overemphasis on fun or entertainment. And this is where people start exploring for new things. New things. They want to do new things every day, or maybe every year of their life. They want to do something new so that they could make their life more enjoying or more entertaining. So what they do, they would go and look for different ways. And when you are out of those new ways, you turn to something which is actually destructive for you or for the people. So this is where these entertainment companies come in, or these people, who know what is going on in the people's mind and what is going on in the society. And through their research, through their surveys, etc., they have come to know that there is a very big vacuum in the lives of the people, and they know how to fill that vacuum, and they want to fill that vacuum. Actually, they have achieved their goal by introducing social media. Social media websites like Facebook, like, for example, YouTube, etc., where a person wants to, explore different kinds of enjoyments by becoming friends with other people whom he does not or she does not know. And this has developed into a very, very popular culture among the especially younger generations, who spend a lot of their time in front of the monitor of the computer or maybe on their mobiles, etc. So some of even these things are haram. Some of these things are even haram. What is happening is that a person would write his profile or her profile, and he would write everything about him or her. In many cases, true things. What he likes or what he does not like, what movies he has watched or she has watched, and what players he or she likes, or what actors he or she likes. And some of these people post their pictures, and and some of them even provide their age, etc., and how old they are, so that those people who are looking for a friend, etc., they could find them easily and make them their friends, etc. So now there is a new phenomenon, and it is the online relationships. Online relationships or virtual spouses. You may have heard about these things, but it is really interesting. Virtual spouses. And you may be a single person in front of the people when you come in the society, but on the internet you have a spouse. On the internet you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. On the internet these things are happening. So there are some people who are acting like predators. They are, and horrible cases are now you can see very horrible things are happening, and there is a lot of misuse. There is sometimes blackmailing, there is sometimes deception, etc. And some people, and some of our own maybe people, you just go on the internet and go on the Facebook, you make a profile and see how it works. Some of our Muslim women and Muslim girls, they are sharing their pictures without hijab, etc., with those who are not mahram with them. They are sharing their pictures with non-mahrams, etc. And they almost write about everything or anything. They have taken a picture somewhere, they would post on the Facebook, and everybody would be seeing that picture and will be tagging or, commenting on the picture, or there will be likes or dislikes, etc. And that's it. It has become a very, very common culture among the youths. There is a very interesting joke, actually. Somebody sent me this the other day. I have modified it a little bit so that it is suitable for maybe this gathering, this lecture. There is a wonderful confession of a girl, an amazing reply she got. She said to her father, "Dad, I have feelings for a boy who is far away from me. I am in India and he is in UK." Now, the story starts. "We met on a matrimonial website, became friends on Facebook, had long chats on WhatsApp and BBM, BlackBerry Messenger, proposed each other on Skype, and now 2 months of relationships through Viber. I need your blessings and good wishes." Her dad said, "Okay, now that we have reached this conclusion after having your relationship or whatever on the internet," he says, "Now get married on Twitter, have fun on Tango, buy your kids from eBay, send them through Gmail, and if you are fed up with your husband, sell him on Gumtree." It's a website classified for classified ads. So this is what is actually happening in the society. Now they are having relationships on the internet, and it is really very, very dangerous also. And hours of their time is spent on Facebook. But if you ask the same person to maybe spend 10 minutes with his friend or with his parents or maybe some other people, he would not find that time. But as soon as he gets a message on Facebook or maybe on his BBM or WhatsApp, he is quick to reply. He would find time even in the places where it is really impossible for him to do anything else. So now what is happening is that it is creating a culture of hypocrisy, culture of dual personalities, culture of split personality. A person, you can hide or mask your personality on the internet. Maybe a person is actually uneducated person or does not have any qualification, or he is He is not a very, very rich person, or he is not a young person. But on the internet, he can write everything and opposite. He may actually tell the others he is a king. He is a very qualified person. He is rich. He is successful. He is very popular, etc. And this fake personality, if a person keeps on, doing this all the time, on and on, this develops into a kind of hypocrisy or munafiqat, or being of two faces. A person becomes somebody else when he is in front of his computer, and he is somebody else when he comes out of that place. And ulama, and these scholars say, the virtual world of internet becomes, and for these people becomes, takes the place of real world, and the real world becomes a kind of illusion for them. And these people cannot live a proper life, because they would find a lot of problems in interacting with other people. Why? Because they are so much used to lying all the time on the internet, that when they are faced with the truth and reality, they cannot face it. And sometimes people go into depression. They say the internet has created a kind of stress in the minds of the people, especially the youths who are answering their messages all the time. You can easily see youths are always texting, SMSing, unnecessary, spending so much time on these things, and they cannot live without these things even for a day. And there is a mobile phone culture, and that is actually, we are all included. We are all included. There is no exception actually. Very few of us who may not know or may not need that kind of communication, but we are all now dependent, slave actually to our mobile phones. Now there are people who would go to their offices, and if they have forgotten their mobile phones, they would go all the way back to their homes, their houses, and get their mobile, so that they could live their life, because they cannot live without their mobiles even for a day. And if you look at the people's life in the past, only 15, 20 years ago, you would not see these things. People were living their lives. We were living actually their lives. We are not talking about some of these young brothers, young friends here, who have born maybe after 2000, when these things became very popular. So my advice, personal advice, is that if instead of spending so much time on Facebook, if they would spend, our children, our youth, spend some time, that quality time, on some positive activity, like on reading or studying their books, etc., they would actually be able to accomplish much more than they would, without or spending their time on the internet or Facebook. There is another phenomenon that I've just touched on in the beginning of my lecture: television and movie culture, and it is actually. It comes under the cultural show culture. Cultural show culture. Some of us feel proud when we see Muslim actors in these Bollywood movies. Some of our people become, I've heard people saying Khans are ruling the Indian movie industry. Some of the people are, those who are Muslim, they are, and so this way they get deceived when they hear these names. These people, whoever they are not Muslims. Even though they may have Muslim names, but they are not actually Muslims. They do not represent Islam or Muslims. They are there just to manipulate our thinking. They have been put deliberately by some of these people to manipulate our thoughts and things and thinking. We say, wow, when we look at these people, and some of the ignorant Muslims actually, they are drawn to shaitan because of these people, because they think that these Muslims are doing something good, so they should also be part of that. And also there are people who are deceived by some of the names, some of these singers who have Muslim names. I won't say they are Muslim singers, because a Muslim cannot be a singer. These people who are singers, but they have Muslim names. And unfortunately, there is something bad going on these days, and that is our matams, our nohas, maybe our du'as even, or some of the azans, qasida, etc. are being sung actually in the tunes of songs, which is haram. And inshallah, I'll give you the evidence from the Ayatollah Sistani's Fatawa. Ayatollah Sistani has clearly said, if a person sings a qasida or ayat of the Holy Quran, recites the ayat of the Holy Quran in a manner that is suitable to those haram, gatherings, etc., he's committing actually two sins. One is for singing, and the other sin is for disrespecting the Holy Quran and the qasida of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So it is very, very important for us, especially our youths, to know about these things. There are many really dangerous things going on in our society, and if we are sending our children to some of these schools where Western culture is dominant, really we have to be very careful about our children. Why? Because some of these schools have fashion shows. I'm sure some of these schools have fashion shows. And what is the meaning of these fashion shows? You know better. I don't want to go into details. It cannot be Islamic in any way. It promotes behayai, shamelessness. A person comes in front of others and displays or shows his or her maybe beauty to others. And this causes a person, especially youngsters, youths, to lose their iman. And recently I was reading in some news that in some of these Muslim countries there was a fashion show for hijab. Hijab, different kinds of hijabs, etc. It's really laughable. How come hijab is to hide your beauty, not to display it by wearing? There are kinds of hijabs. You wear a hijab in a manner that everybody will be attracted to you. Though you have hid or concealed your hair, but you have made yourself more attractive by doing some other things, which actually defeats the whole purpose of hijab. And it can't be hijab. Hijab is the other name for modesty. Hijab cannot be attractive or too attractive or whatever. There is also, some of our children who go to our schools, and in some of these schools, they have beauty contests. It is also very, very, really a thing that actually is really harmful. How? It makes the life for those people who are not that beautiful very difficult. Those who are beautiful or handsome, they become very popular. And some of the boys or girls who are actually very talented, who may be very good at studies, etc., but they are not that beautiful. They are not that maybe handsome. So life becomes difficult for such people. And let me quote a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "An-nazaru sahmun min ashum ash-shaytan." An-nazar, yani a gaze. Gaze is one of the arrows of the shaitans. One of the arrows of the shaitan. What does this mean? It means that it is one of the traps of the shaitan. Traps of the shaitan. This is how the shaitan traps us. And a person looks at somebody and he commits a sin by looking at that person. So these things like as I said, fashion show or beauty contest, etc., they promote this kind of cultural, shaitani cultural things. And there is a very interesting hadith from our Aimma alayhi salam. They say a person is completely in the hold of shaitan in three situations. And if he does not seek the refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would certainly commit a sin or he would lose his iman. The first situation is qazawat. Qazawat is when the qazi or a judge has to give some kind of judgment. Giving a judgment is a very heavy or big duty, great duties, and a very heavy duty in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So shaitan tries his best to misguide a judge. He tries his best. This is the first situation. Second situation, when a person can be trapped by shaitan very easily, is when a person is with a na-mahram. Khalwat ba na-mahram. And when a person is alone with a strange and maybe strange or na-mahram man or a woman. It is when shaitan actually tries his best, and it is the easiest actually, he says, shaitan himself says, it is the easiest time I can misguide you, I can take your iman. And now one of the examples I can give you is the example when a person is chatting with a na-mahram on maybe Facebook or WhatsApp, etc. Shaitan, don't say that shaitan is not watching you. No, maybe you are not seeing each other, but shaitan is working through his way. So you have to be very, very careful. And the third situation when shaitan tries his best is when a person is angry. If you are angry, when you are angry, shaitan says a person's blood boils in his body, and shaitan is made of fire, and anger is from fire. So he actually strikes on the heart of the person at that moment, and he actually becomes part of his personality, part of him. The blood, and when it boils in anger, shaitan says, I take control of that person, and I can actually make this person commit anything, even the kufr and shirk. So, these situations, especially, today I talked about culture of getting bored. And tomorrow, inshallah, we'll talk about, music, and inshallah, if time permits, games also. One of the traps of shaitan is music. When you start listening to music, it is very difficult to go back. Because music is actually something through which shaitan takes control of a person's heart, person's nafs. And if you look around us, there is so much music, in everybody's mobile phones, I can say. You don't have to go anywhere else. Just look inside the mobile phones of some of maybe people. You will find so many songs, so many musics, etc. In that mobile phones, and they bring those things in the masjid and Imam Bada also. And unfortunately, you may even hear those things in the masjid when you are praying. And shaitan is always working. When a person brings his mobile and he has put a very shaitani tune, and the time the person is praying, and at that time he receives a call, and everybody, instead of concentrating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he starts listening to shaitan. So we should be careful when we are coming to the masjid, because it is when shaitan tries to accompany us. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وارض عن المرتزى وربيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها हमारे वालिदैन को गुनाहों को माफ़ फरमा, हमारे मातमीन की मग़फ़िरत फरमा, हम में से जो बीमार उनको शिफा कुल्ली अता फरमा, उन्हें इनकी जायज़ हाजतों को पूरा फरमा। जहाँ जहाँ हम शियान हदर कर रहा इस वक्त मुश्किलों में, ख़ासतौर से सीरिया में इस वक्त जो मुश्किलें हैं शियों के लिए, और हर में बीबी जनाब ज़ैनब कुबरा सलामुल्लाह अलैहा के ऊपर जो अभी इस वक्त सितम और मज़ालिम हो रहे हैं, परवरदिगार आलम ज़ालिमों के शर से शियान अहले बैत अलैहिस्सलाम को महफूज फरमा, और जल्द से जल्द हमारे ज़माने की इमाम को भेज और हमें उनके आवान अंसार में शुमार फरमा। रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम व आखिरु दअवाना अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।